Okay, so we're going to give you a quick installation here of the Garmin Striker Vivid 4 CV and transducer. Comes in the box. I got mine from Amazon. The price point was good on it. Here's the unit itself. There's the base. It does come with a cover. First thing we're going to do, you got to let some air, it's going in the manta. You got to let some air out of this baffle. Take the baffle out. I've already taken rag and alcohol and I've wiped it down. The area that I'm going to put it, let me grab a flashlight real quick. I'm going to set it right down in there, right in that V. I'm going to put a sealant in there. I'm going to put some sealant on the transducer itself. And I'm going to set it right in the V. It's the manta, if you're not familiar with it, it's got like a hole in the middle of it. So we're going to be in the bottom of that right there. I've already checked. I'm going to mount the unit itself in this area here so I can reach it easily from my seat. The power cord will plug into the unit. I'll fish it through the kayak. I'll have my battery. I'm going to empty this storage unit out. I'll have my battery in here. So I'll pop a hole up here in the top. Feed this cord through, hook it to the battery. The transducer has enough cable to go around my kayak 3 times. So it'll be in the kayak itself down in the bottom like that. Then I'll just have to run a little bit of this cable to the unit itself. So we're going to install that real quick. I know I've had some people talk about not putting it in the kayak because it'll mess up the transducer. I've talked to a couple marinas and I talked to the people at Garmin, and they now put the transducers in the bottom of fiberglass boats. So the fact of not putting it in the boat is not true. It will not screw up any reception or throw off anything with the transducer. So I'm gonna pause you here for a second. I'm gonna put, what I'm using is marine goop. It's really sticky, really thick, but it is flexible. I need it to be flexible because obviously the kayaks is going to flex. If I'd ever happen to change kayaks, I could reach down in there, take a knife and cut through the goop and pull the transducer out and clean it off. But I'm going to apply it to the kayak and I'm going to apply it to the transducer, then stick the transducer in it. And I have to look, I think the dry time on this is a minimum of 6 hours. Look it up. This has had enough time to cure. My battery comes tomorrow, so I'm trying to get a step ahead. I'm looking at fishing on Wednesday. Today's Monday, so I'll get back to you once I get the sealant applied and get ready to put the transducer in the hull. Okay, now if you look down in the hull, you'll see that big glob of goop in there. Then I've coated the whole transducer with it. There's no way I'm doing this without getting on my hands, but it'll come off. I'm going to take it down there. Sorry about the camera angle, but you can see I used almost the whole tube. So now it's in the goop. I'm going to, let's see how your view looks here. Sorry, but this is kind of an interesting situation to get on video. I'm going to take my hand, I'm just going to slide it back and forth, make sure there's clear contact. So it's in there nice and tight. I'll level it out. Don't know if that really matters a whole lot. I guess it might on the depth a little, but so yeah, now you can see there's goop. There's goop on the back side, there's goop down the end, and it's all down this side. And like I said, this transducer wire, it's got plenty of room for me to run it where I want to. Let the goop do its job, let that set up, and then we'll show you our wiring diagram. I'll be able to mount the unit. I'm considering putting it right here where this cup holder is, but I'm going to lower the kayak to the ground and sit in the seat. If not, it may end up where this rail is, which I can take off. That's no big deal. So it's going to be right here on my right hand side when I'm sitting in the seat. The wires again will run under up into the dry box. My battery will sit in the dry box, which will be nice. That will give me easy access to charging. Okay, so the transducer is down in there in the goo. It's nice and dry. I have the transducer wire, took a fish tape and stuck a fish tape here. I had these little lights off my lawnmower. I stole the grommet for that. So my transducer wire, I've already got it pulled. This is a fish tape for the power, because the nice thing about the Garmin's, you can put them in a mode and get them all programmed before they're actually hooked up. So I have a battery over here, a 12-volt battery. It's for deer cameras, but I have it charging. I just use that jigsaw. I have it charging, so tonight I can sit in the house. There's a really good YouTube video. It's like a 7-part. I watched 5 parts of it today. So I have a bunch of notes, but I can get the Garmin, get it all programmed. So when my battery comes tomorrow, all I gotta do is put my battery in there, hook it to this wire, pull it through. I'll have the Garmin mounted. What I did is this kayak has 2 trolling rod holders. I took this one out. I had some black plastic. I'm going to try to polish it up a little bit, but I made a plate for it. And I'll take this, stick it on here. I'll put my screws in, and then the Garmin will mount there. So I just wanted to give you what I had going so far. Okay, so we got the black piece of plastic put on. I put goop under that. I got to find a washer. I don't have one small enough for that screw. I can get that in though still. So the Garmin's mounted. This is one of the input wires. Goes in there. Power wire goes in there. And like I said, I'll hook the power wire and pull it back to that compartment that I'm going to put my battery in. I want to take this in the house tonight and go ahead and get all the settings done on the Garmin. So when you're sitting in the seat, I want to make sure it wasn't in the way of my foot, but I can easily reach it. The nice thing about this is it twists and turns in all different directions, so it'll go round and round. You can flip it up and down, get it wherever you want it. So right there is pretty good, sitting in my seat. So I think the hard work's done. Got that mounted, transducer's mounted, the wires to the transducer. I got a fish wire from my grommet to where my battery's going. I'll get it programmed in tonight. I am going to get some 100% black silicone. And once my wires come out of there and they're plugged into the back, I'll give them a little bit of slack, and then I'm going to pump black silicone into the grommet right here to make sure that no water gets in there. It would be very little, but any screws I put in the boat or anything like that, I always put silicone on them. And then the cords do come with plugs when you unhook the unit, put it in the truck or whatever. And I have some diode grease. It's grease for electrical connections. I'll be putting some of that on the connections too. So I think the hard work's over. All right, well, Amazon truck just left, so we got our battery. It is the 20 amp, and from what I've seen online, it should run my fish finder roughly for 35 to 40 hours. So here's the charger for it. It plugs right in. I've already got it wired. I haven't I haven't melted the connectors yet or finished any of that. I wanted to make sure it turned on. Here's the battery pack. Pretty small. I'm gonna have it right inside here. My wire, they have a hole in there, so my wire was able to fit up here for the battery pack. I'll lay it sideways. That wire I can put down in the hole. But it is the moment of truth. Guess we'll see if I did it right. Oh, it beeps. Look at that. And tomorrow we're going to be on the water, so we'll give it a whirl. But yeah, I think start to finish, I probably, with making this plate, mounting that, I might have 2 hours in it. So, but I'm happy with it. It's a really clean install. My helper is tired, probably ready to go inside and go to bed, but we'll give you an update tomorrow, see how it works. Right, Ted? All right, good boy. All right, well, as you can tell, we are on the water and the Garmin is working. So we're not moving very fast right now, but it's showing the bottom at about 3'4". So all the wiring and power source and everything came together, and looks like we'll be able to see some fish. Water temperature is currently dropping as we're moving here, so I suppose that might be off a little bit until the kayak was in the back of the truck, so might be off a little bit until the water temperature feels about there. So alright, that wraps it up. That is my installation on a Garmin fish finder in a Manta Lifetime kayak. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it.